Good morning, everybody, and Happy New Year to everybody. I want to welcome everyone and welcome Member Chaplin, the new recorder. Congratulations. Can we get a roll call, please?
Covert.
Here.
Berlin.
Here.
Chaplin.
Here.
Childress.
Yes.
Eckhoff.
Here.
Velocity. Here. Henry. Here. Esmeric.
Here.
Lucas. Rutledge.
Here.
White.
Here.
You.
Here.
We have one.
Yes, we do. All right. I'm very excited to work with our new tech committee staff, everybody in this room, and very happy to be here. And also, I welcome any questions or comments or any discussion. If you ever want to meet with me, I am available for everybody. So moving with that, I entertain motion of the approval of the minutes. Oh, I'm sorry. Do we have any public comment? We do. Okay. No public comment. Moving on to section 5. I entertain a motion of the approval of minutes, item 5A 25-0106, approval of minutes for the Technology Committee, but regular meeting Tuesday, December 3rd, 2024. Do I have a motion and a second? Any deletions, additions, or corrections? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, moving on to budget transfers. I entertain a motion on item 6A 25-0134, budget adjustment total amount of $56,284, $20,000 from regular salaries, $4,600 from overtime, $10,000 from part-time help, $11,684 from salary and wage adjustments, and $10,000 from employee med and hospital insurance to other professional services to pay for the non-budgeted U.S. imaging film project for the Recorder of Deeds in FY 2024. Do I have a motion and a second? Second. Any discussion or any questions? All right, yes.
Recorder Chaplin would like to elaborate a little on the memo that was attached with this particular item.
Well, I don't know, the memo's a little self-explanatory, but yeah, when we walked into office, we had discovered that there was this item, well, we have the invoice now, it's gonna be $672,000, but this project that was not budgeted for in the 2024 budget, discovering there was no RFP put out and there was no competitive bidding on this. And also the way that the project was managed, the product is unusable, but we are going to be meeting with US Imaging tomorrow to try to see if there's some way to salvage this material to make it usable. But right now, currently, we have unusable film.
Yes, member you.
Yes, thank you, Chair. So it's my understanding that this is microfilm and it's not digital images.
That's right. They went from film to film rather than film to digitization, which might have been the way to go. But you know, we're also gonna be working on some digitization too. But right now, with our hands are kind of tied because we have now our budget is extremely tight, and we don't have a lot of extra funds to do anything. But we are going to work, like I said, to try to rectify this situation and make and hopefully we can make this usable at some point.
And I have a follow-up question, if I may. So thank you for that. And I wanted to know, so I was surprised to see this on the agenda. I think I just assumed it would be like finance or something. But considering you're meeting with the vendor and this is, I guess, a technology item, do you think, Anthony or Richard, like it would be useful for you to also be at that meeting to talk about how we can make this project usable? Is that a possibility considering it's not digitalization? Like I just wasn't sure.
Yeah, Madam Chair.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to be there.
Okay.
It's actually going to be a question of mine. I think that if we may not be able to change the scope of the existing contract, but we may be able to point some things out that we need to highlight or address. So Richard and I can, I don't know what time it is.
11 o'clock tomorrow.
Okay, so.
That would be absolutely wonderful because
Yeah,
there was
one of us
really,
would love to be there to.
yeah, there was really no consultation with anyone on this project. No, none of the current staff here, nobody was aware anything was even, I think maybe a few of them knew something was going on, but they were not brought in to, usually our staff are experts, so, but our staff really was not consulted on this project at all, so I said it was kind of a rush through, yeah.
And I'm wondering if there's a way to, because you are the new recorder, sometimes with these types of contracts, you can work with the vendor to change the scope, right? And we could work with procurement to do that, but maybe we can look at a longer path to go from film to digital format. That has to be the ultimate goal. Instead of film to film doesn't make a lot of sense. It doesn't provide us with a lot of benefit.
And that's one of the things probably we're gonna have to wind up talking about is storage. And I know we've talked about a little bit about that in the prior past, and that's what we're gonna wind up building. Once we go from film to digital, we're gonna probably need storage, and we would wanna keep
For
it
sure you are.
in-house.
The amount of records that you have, absolutely.
Yeah.
So.
Member Galassi.
That was kind of gonna be what you just said was kind of gonna be my question or comment is the meeting to try to change the scope to be more digitalized instead of going film to film? Or is it, I guess I just don't want to be spending, like throwing good money after bad is my
Right.
concern.
Right. Well, I think the meeting tomorrow is to have this film be usable. Because right now we have, I think, over 6,000 images that right now are not, it's not usable. So if we can somehow work with US Imaging to have the film usable and possibly do some digitization along with that. I don't know, were they gonna talk about digitization too? Yeah, so that was gonna be part of our scope too, to see if we can get some of these.
Are the 6,000 images that aren't usable right now somewhere else?
Right now, they're with US Imaging. They're going to bring them back to DuPage County and we will take out all of our film. The one positive thing here is that if you come down to the recorder's office right now, you walk in the back, you can smell vinegar. So the film is breaking down and there's an awful vinegar smell in the office. So US Imaging will, most likely, they're gonna take that film out. They're gonna put all the new polyester film in. So we will be removing at least that smell from the office. So we're kind of cleaning up the environment a little bit here. And then they'll get rid of the old film. And then we will, like I said, work towards getting the film usable and then having some start the digitization process. Something we really need to do.
Yes, Member Rutledge.
Thank you, Chair Colbert. When was that contract signed?
February 8th of 2024.
Yes.
Can we get a copy of the contract for the meeting tomorrow?
Yeah, it's really not even I don't even know if you would call it's really a proposal that was signed, basically, but I can give you the pages. I'll give you what I have, yes. I'll email it to you guys, yeah.
Any more questions? Yes, Member Holly.
Thank you, Chair Covert. Are these, like you said, around 6,000 not usable images? Are they like time sensitive too, that you need to retrieve? Like, you need to go back to them for, use for the office? Or are they, like, what is incorporated in those not usable?
Well, it's all of our film, and I think it was I think they did all of it, like from the 1800s to current. Let me see what they had in here. Can't remember all of the film. Let me get 1961 to 2024. So yeah, so those are pretty current images. So people may be, on.
Thank you.
Any more questions? Yes.
Not a question, just a comment if the questions are.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, so the clerk's office is going to be abstaining from voting on these next 3 items. On April 10th, 2023, the Attorney General provided the state's attorney with guidance regarding line item budget transfers. To quote from that opinion, informal opinion number I-17013, describes section 6-1003 of the county's code as addressing transfers of appropriations between line items. However, as described above, opinion number 84-003 and other previously issued Attorney General opinions made clear that county boards are limited to making aggregate or lump sum appropriations to county officers with internal control of their offices for the categories delineated in their respective internal control statutes, namely equipment, materials, and services. Nothing in the amended language of section 6-1003 made the conclusion reached in those opinions inapplicable to transfers of appropriations. Rather, for county officers operating under internal control statutory provisions, the language of section 6-1003 applies to transfers of appropriations between categories of aggregate or lump sum appropriations. Section 6-1003 of the county's code thus authorizes county officers with internal control provisions to transfer appropriations between the categories delineated in their respective internal control statutes without county board approval unless the transfer of appropriations affects personnel or capital. So according to the Attorney General's guidance, the recorder should not have to bring this transfer before the county board at all. However, even if it were a transfer of appropriations between the statutory lump sums, as member you raised, that would be appropriately brought before the Finance Committee, the Technology Committee, which is made up of members of the county board as well as representatives of the independent elected offices, has no say whatsoever approving transfers of the recorder's budget. The county clerk and the auditor and the treasurer and the state's attorney have no business having a vote over what the recorder does with her own money. So we're going to be abstaining from these three items.
Thank you.
You abstain too.
All right, yes, member, Mr.
Oh, wait,
Quinn.
I don't know if I was gonna ask a question. No, that's okay.
Okay, thank you. All right, with that, all in favor?
Like, you want a roll call?
Oh, I'm sorry. Let's get a roll call on, item 6A, please.
Just 6A.
Yes.
Covert.
Aye.
Berlin.
Aye.
Chaplin.
Abstain.
Childress.
Yes.
Eckhoff.
Yes.
Rossi. Yes. Henry.
Yes.
Kazmarek.
Abstain.
Lucas. Rutledge.
Yes.
White.
Aye.
You.
Aye.
I did 9 ayes, 2 abstentions. Why are we on this agenda? That's what I was gonna ask. I'll ask it then.
Motion passes. Okay, moving on to item 6B, I entertain a motion on item 6B, 25-0135. Budget adjustment total amount, $355,701, $330,000, $670 from regular salaries, $10,000 from overtime, $5,000 from temporary salaries, $1,699 from furniture, machine, equipment, small value, $77,500 from operating supplies and materials, and $832 from food and beverages to other professional services to pay for non-budgeted U.S. imaging film project for the recorder of deeds in FY 2024. Do I have a motion? And a second?
Second.
All right,
Roll call, please.
do we have any questions?
I do have a
or
question. So
discussion?
I
Yes.
was going to ask, because I wasn't sure, how did this make it on the, why did we put it on the technology committee? Does anybody know? Because I was looking back at prior recorder transfers and I didn't see any on this committee's agenda, like they did one in November. I don't know how it, so I just was curious if we could get an answer as to why it was on the technology committee agenda.
Someone sent it to us to add to the technology committee, so, from, I believe, the recorder's office.
I believe I was gonna ask the same question.
I sent the memo to attach, not this item. I go, if this is gonna be on the agenda, you need to put the memo, but I did not submit the budget transfers to this department or. Yeah.
This was my question.
Lena thinks it was finance, possibly finance maybe did it, but maybe we should find out if we could be more consistent because it doesn't make a lot of sense why it was on.
That's a really good point, Ms. Chaplin. I was asking the same question to Anthony over the weekend, and we'll definitely find out how this came to be an honor agenda. So thank you. All right, any other discussion or questions? All right, moving with that, all in favor?
Roll call, please.
Yeah, roll call.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
Roll, most favorable roll, does that work?
no, we can't do that
Okay.
here. Let's do a roll call.
Hobart.
Aye.
Berlin.
Aye.
Chaplin.
Abstain.
Childress.
Yes.
Eckhoff.
Aye.
Galassi. Henry.
Aye.
Kazmarek.
Abstain.
Lucas. Rutledge.
Aye.
White.
Aye.
You.
Aye.
9-2 and 1.
All right, that passes. Moving on, I entertain a motion on item 6C, 25-0165, budget adjustment total amount of $16,759, $11,869 from indirect cost reimbursement, $4,890 from printing to benefit payments to cover retention benefit payout expenses for the recorder of deeds in FY 2024. Is there any discussion or questions? Yes, number you.
Thank you, Chair. So this one doesn't have anything to do with the imaging film project, right? So I don't understand why this is here. Is it strange to, would it be appropriate to strike it from the agenda here and then?
Well, you could always refer it to finance if you'd like. You can always refer it to another committee.
Yeah.
If that's.
But there would need to be a motion for that, a second, and then a majority vote to approve
I'd like
it for another committee.
I'll make that motion. to refer it to finance.
Yes, number
6C only.
Number,
It's only going to go to finance anyway.
Yeah,
I assume so.
I just don't understand why the tech committee.
this came from, I've been told that these three items did come from finance to be placed on the tech committee agenda. I'm learning this right now.
I was trying to
And
remember where
yet,
it came
you
from.
can still make a motion and take a vote.
I think we did make a motion.
I heard a motion in a second.
Yes. Is there any
One
question?
way or the other, it's gonna get the finance. If we refer it off, we vote on it.
What is the motion? Could we,
Can you please state the
My
motion?
motion is to refer this to finance.
For item 6A, 6B, and 6 here is item 6C, right?
Because you've already taken action on 6
Right.
days.
And there was a second by member Rutledge. Is there any question or discussion on the motion presented right now? Member Echo.
So if it gets referred to finance and without a vote approving it, can we still vote to approve it in finance?
Yes, because it would go under the finance items section of the finance agenda, not it would basically turn this from a tech item into a finance item.
Works for me.
Is there any other questions or discussion on this motion? All right, seeing no questions or discussion on this motion, we will take a roll call on this particular motion. Roll call, please.
Hobart.
Aye.
Berlin.
Aye.
Chaplin.
Aye.
Childress.
Yes.
Eckhoff.
Aye.
Galassi.
Aye.
Henry.
Aye.
Kazmarek.
This is to refer to finance?
Lucas. Rutledge.
Aye.
White.
Aye.
You.
Aye.
All ayes.
All ayes, motion passes. Moving on to item procurement requisitions, I entertain a motion on item 7A, TE-P-0001-25, recommendation for the approval of a contract purchase order to Environmental Systems Research Institute, Inc. for professional services for GIS data migration support and training for the ESRI Enterprise Advantage Program for Information Technology GIS Division for the period of January 17, 2025 through January 16, 2026 for a contract total amount of $142,700 exempt from bidding per 55 ILCS 5/5-1022. C, not suitable for competitive bids. Sole source, this product and services only available from the provider ESRI Inc. I have a motion and a second. Do I have any questions or discussion? All right, seeing none, all in favor? That passes. Moving on to item 7B, I entertain a motion on item 7B, 25-0033. Recommendation for the approval of a contract to Caresoft Technology Group for a premier support agreement for Microsoft Support Services for Information Technology for the period of February 24th, 2025 through February 23rd, 2026, for a contract total of $24,210 per cooperative purchasing agreement pricing in compliance with 30 ILCS 525/2 Governmental Joint Purchasing Act, NASPO Value Point Master Agreement, number AR 2472. Do I have a second? I have a motion and a second. Any discussion or questions? All in favor? Passes. And moving on to old business, do we have any old business? Okay, seeing none, do we have any new business? All right, well, with that, I entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, the meeting is adjourned. See you in 2 weeks.